Scott Warner is an everyday 16-year-old. He likes cars, football with his dog, playing with his baby sister. No, he does have a bit of a temper.
No! No! Get out! Go away! Go away! Go away from me!
Yeah, but just let him carry on. If he gets worse, I'll call the police.
I can't handle this. Please, just leave him. Leave the stupid little immature boy alone. Go on.
This is the whole point of the thing, Trevor. So to make him realise.
I'm Scott Warner and from Carpenter's Park, and I'm 16, soon to be 17.
16-year-old Scott lives with his mum and dad and two sisters. He has a variety of D&E grades at GCSE. He's got no job, no money, no girlfriend, but plenty of anger.
And yes, this will go to Channel 4.
Won't.
Yes, it will,
No, it
Scott.
won't, because it's up to me. If
No,
I
it's
turn
not.
around
It's
and
up
say
to
no,
me.
right,
You're
I tell
under
what,
18.
Stick that on Channel 4 and stick that to you as well.
Because it's the crappy TV with the crappy aerial and everything's crap about it, I could only pick up 1, 2 and 4. So I couldn't pick up 3 or 5. And I was pretty annoyed about that.
Get out!
Don't try it.
No, you're the one trying to... You're the one that's trying to get out!
It doesn't take a lot really for him to go off on one, but you can tell the days that he is going to go off on one, because from beginning to end, he's just got a different personality about him.
But she knows, like, the button to press sort of thing.
Okay, go away! Touch me again! Go away! Go away! What are you doing? What's she doing? Stop it! Go away!
She knew it was winding me up. And I just wanted her to get out of my room. I kept on telling her, but she weren't listening.
No, no, all she wants is publicity. That's how much we're munching. Go on, hit me. Go on, I swear to you. I'll knock you flying. Yeah? Get out and stop.
I don't want my children to grow up to be angry adults. If he's lucky enough to get married and have kids, if he had that sort of anger, he could end up harming one of his children.
I don't know, I could end up going into prison or something stupid like that. Just because, I don't know, I could do anything. I could get into a bad fight, or I could end up getting killed or something like that, anything.
I can do what I want.
No, you can't.
Shut up and
No,
get out.
you can't.
Shut up and
No,
get
I
out.
want him to get out the
Shut
house and I
up.
want him to go and calm
It's
down.
tough shit, really, isn't it? Because I'm not moving.
I don't want to be so stressed out and have such a bad temper.
No, get out!
That's all I can really say about it.
It's clearly getting well out of hand at Scott's house, and time for him to get some help outside the family. Dr. Rachel Andrew is a chartered clinical psychologist who specialises in helping teenagers with their anger.
When I first meet with a teenager and their family, I don't go in with a preset plan about what I'm going to do. The first meeting is very much about assessing what the difficulties are, and alongside that, what types of changes the family want to make. I think the mistake we can all make is thinking that there's one catch-all answer about anger and that there's one solution for everyone. So you're not going to see me go in and say, you know, you need to count to 10 or you need to hold your breath, because I think it's very individual what people are angry about.
She will work with Scott over the next 2 weeks.
Hi, Scott.
All right.
Dr. Rachel Andrew. Nice to meet you.
I got chucked out of my little sister's school sports day because my sister and one of my mates sparked up a fag.
Right.
And I got the blame for it yet again. People get, like, attitude and then you don't even know them.
Does that happen a lot for you?
Say not 60–70% of the time it is me, but then I just get pissed off because, like, the other 30 or 40% of the time it's actually not me and I just get blamed for it.
Right.
I've been out of the country and been blamed for things.
Because have you got a bit of a reputation?
I've got a good reputation over here, basically, and like not such a good one over South Oxy. Like, for about 3 years, I was wanted dead or alive over South Oxy.
Really? But you up for trying to work on some of these problems that kind of, I guess, some of the aggression stuff?
Yeah.
Are all your mates fighters then?
No, they don't. No, it's like wrong to say it like that because no one goes round to just start a fight.
What do you think it is about you?
I don't know. But like, trouble follows me around. I don't know why, but I can say for a fact I definitely have not done anything to aggravate them.
You've come across really confident, really kind of chatty, really friendly, and I get why people would want to be your pal and want to hang around with you. I guess I'm a bit confused as to this, why people would want to get in a fight with you.
Sure about this, mate? You sure about this? You sure about this, mate?
Seeing Scott in a number of different situations, seeing how differently he can behave, especially around his friends, he uses anger and aggression to dominate the group.
Touch me and I swear to you, I'll just knock you straight back down. Right, back on the knee.
You don't know when Scott's going to get really, I don't know, just really vicious.
Is that the worst you've ever seen him?
No.
Has it been worse with you than before?
Yeah. I don't know, he just overreacts about things.
For the first time in his life, Scott has recognised that he has a problem with anger and needs help.
I've got a really short temper. Where everyone's fuse, say, like a foot long, I've got a fuse like a couple of millimetres long. Takes 2 or 3 little things, then I can just switch on someone. If my mum or dad just leave me and they go work, I'm just asleep, then I'll be well alright for the whole day. But if I start off in an argument, usually I'll end up in arguments or fights by the night. I don't even know that I'm doing it sometimes, I'll just flip. And it takes a lot to calm me down. I'd like to try and reason with people instead of fighting, or walking away from it instead of fighting, because it just ends up getting me in trouble either with the police or like with other people coming down looking for me and beating me up or anything, and I don't want nothing like I don't want none of that anymore. I sort of want to grow up and grow out of it.
Laura has been capturing some of Scott's antics over the last couple of weeks on a camcorder.
Tell you what really strikes me when I kind of watch this is just how loud it is. Do you know, like that's it with the dog barking and Scott shouting. What comes across isn't just the anger, but a whole load of different emotions from him. He's upset and ashamed and...
Yeah.
So is this a fairly typical argument?
It's not often that these sort of things happen, but when they do happen, they're pretty nasty.
Yeah, that he doesn't want to be this person, particularly he doesn't want this anger to take control.
Rachel can see that Scott is angry because even though he's a young adult, he's still being treated like a child and he has no privacy, even in his own bedroom.
Get out now!
The noise in the video is distracting, but actually what he's saying is quite clearly saying to being able to control himself and saying to mum and dad that they need to leave him alone, and their responses in turn kind of provoke him further.
This is not your room if you cannot respect this house and not your parents.
He is given no responsibility and therefore takes none. He's not even allowed to use the phone when he wants.
Where's your phone, Mum?
Mine?
Yeah.
You're not borrowing it?
Dad!
No, I told you you're not.
Mum, I need to ring Greg.
Well, tough. Get your own money.
Sing on camera.
It's 3 days after meeting Rachel. It's Scott's birthday. He's 17 today. Scott sees himself as a man, but Mum still treats him like a child.
Oh, we did!
Get off my settee!
The transition from childhood to adulthood through adolescence is often a difficult one for both teenagers and their parents. Scott and Mum aren't sure how to relate to each other anymore, and I think Scott is caught between wanting to be treated independently like an adult, but also longs for the safety of his old child's life.
Oh, we did!
It would be nice for them to find new ways of relating to each other in a much more adult way. I think what would be good is if Mum could take a step back and listen to Scott and also allow him to take more responsibility over his own life.
Scott, come on, you've got to get up and have a bath. You haven't had a bath in 2 days.
No way.
Even though he's not working, he needs to get himself up and do bits and pieces. Forget it, get up whenever. I generally leave him a list of a couple of things each day. It's no good doing lots of things, otherwise he just won't do any of them.
Cut the grass, I'm not doing that. It takes too long. And plus I always get moaned at anyway because I don't do it right.
It's a constant, battle one against the other sort of thing, and I think you've just got to try and not raise to his bait.
Look, they're my keys.
Right, that's all that's...
No.
Scott, that is all that's in there, all right?
Mum, where's the rest of my keys?
You took them the other day. I gave them to you.
That's my key.
With that red thing on, I think was in the car.
Scott, what good are they going to do? They're to your bike.
Trev, don't give him the money. He's got to learn that this is something he's got to do on his own. He could have got it yesterday, spent the whole day doing nothing.
Yeah, all right. I've got to go because I'm meant to have been there at 9. See you later.
Bye, love you.
A week into the process and there is some way to go. Scott's been on the rampage in the front garden.
We had an argument yesterday and he thought that he'd kick the door in and take the heads off my frogs and smash them on the floor and then come and tell me.
I only did it because I know it'll drive her mad because she loves frogs.
So it's kind of a way to show Mum that you're angry with her. The main problems talked about by both of them is not being listened to, feeling blamed, and about being let down by others.
Can we talk about this in the garden, please?
So the intervention is about changing this relationship so that they can both be close in appropriate ways, therefore decreasing the need for arguments. What do you think Scott was so angry about?
I don't really know why he was angry, to be honest with you.
Rachel now witnesses firsthand how little Laura and Scott listen to each other.
The thing that gets you in trouble in your life is your mouth.
You're just saying your bit and you won't listen to my bit.
You're allowed to give mouth to other people, but when they do it to you, that's not fair.
My mum, she doesn't really listen. Well, she does, but very rarely.
Master, I asked this lady and I also asked Scott's friends and his
I'm gonna
sister
walk off in a
last
minute.
night.
Okay, and if you need
You're
to,
pissing me off
if
already.
you need to, just go.
See, what he doesn't realise is he can do whatever he likes to anyone. He can lie, he can tantrum. If you didn't
This
talk...
is why I get angry
Stop.
though, because people straight away come to me.
Right, OK,
Why come to me?
let's try something, right?
Yeah.
For a whole week, go around with a piece of sellotape on your mouth. Everybody, whether
That's
they're a
another
child
thing,
or
the
an
big punch
adult...
bags. I'm
you
not even
s-
allowed to use the punch bag because apparently it makes too much noise.
Is
So
this,
bring it
can I just
outside.
ask, is this the way things
birth.
usually go on?
Between us two?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because what it sounds like to me is, Scott, you're asking your mum to do certain things, but perhaps you're finding it difficult to do those things as well. You do seem quite similar in the things that you struggle with. It's just been sort of constant talking.
I listen to you, can you please
no,
listen
what
to
do
me?
adults get
no,
when they do
I
something
listen
wrong?
to you, can you please listen to me?
Whatever.
How do you feel, Scott?
Pissed off.
And how do you feel?
He never lets me explain. He likes to say his own thing and then he won't listen to anyone.
And how does it make you feel?
It makes me feel upset that it's not getting through to him.
Right. And I feel that we're just going round in circles. And I agree with you. I think we need to kind of think about the problem and what it is from everyone's different points of view and think about the possibilities of creating some changes.
Everything I'm saying is wrong. Everything I do is wrong. He's right, I'm wrong. What I'm saying is wrong.
Rachel gets Scott away from his mum to focus on solutions to his anger.
I could have backed down, but I just wanted to get my point across that I was actually in the right.
Has there been a time when you've been angry and you've kind of dealt with it in a different way than kind of going after someone?
I have got into fights where I've had to walk away before and just be like, right, no point fighting. Although I prefer if my temper wasn't like that sort of thing, because that's what's going to end up getting me into trouble, or someone's going to start on me and I'm going to start on the wrong person.
Right.
And then I'm going to end up getting killed, or anything could happen.
Could you see yourself going to prison if things stay the way
Things
they
stay
are?
the same, yeah. That is my main objective at the moment, apart from driving, obviously. To, you know, like, to push all this aside and just sort my anger out.
Rachel uses a simple technique to get Scott to take responsibility for his actions.
So that's exactly what I meant, like a pie chart of kind of blame. Right.
The pie chart helps Scott to understand who might really be responsible for his latest bust-up.
And who else do you think is at all to blame?
Me, because I did give a little bit of jip.
Yeah. But you think, looking back, you might have been a little bit to blame?
Yeah, probably because of my jip.
By asking them certain questions, what that helps a person or a family to do is really focus on times when they've managed to successfully control their anger in the past, so they can harness their inner resources to deal with anger in a different way. If you give us a ring on that anytime, and I tell you what, not just if you're in trouble and having any problems that you can give me a call. If you do anything that you're really proud of, or that kind of you notice is a big change for you, ring me up and tell me about it. I'd love to hear about that.
Cool.
This is a family who need to feel that the changes are coming from themselves. And I think from conversations with Scott, we've identified 3 things that Scott would like to work on and be able to do. So firstly, he'd like to be able to walk away from an argument and come back to discuss things more calmly later. Secondly, he wants to be able to listen to other people's points of view. And thirdly, he wants to take some more control over his life. And I think the important thing there is that he's going to have to start making some choices and take some responsibility for his own life as he grows up.
Having established what the problem is, Rachel now has to convince Laura.
I realise that he doesn't actually understand what he's doing and when he's doing it wrong.
Right.
And he doesn't like it when I talk too much.
So you're thinking, listening to what Scott's got to say, and that he can't take all of the information in at one time. So I liked what you said about short bursts, if you've got something to tell
go
him.
away and then come back. It just depends.
I could see that they weren't a family who were going to accept being told things. Families are much more likely to take on board ideas and suggestions if they feel they're coming from themselves. And also, if they've generated them themselves, they're much more likely to be maintained.
One of Rachel's techniques involves keeping in touch via mobile phone, especially if there is a breakout of anger. Scott gets the chance to put her advice to the test when he tries to make an omelette and a row kicks off.
You lot do my head in. They were fine in the kitchen, now World War III's erupted again.
Scott puts Rachel's advice into action and immediately goes outside to cool his head. But Laura is having trouble understanding and leaving him to it.
It wasn't a handful.
Yes, it was.
It was a pinchful, Scott.
No, it wasn't, Mum.
Scott, when you actually see this back, I think you might actually see that you're a little sad little
I don't
boy.
think so, Mum. You should just keep out of other people's business.
You're pathetic. You really are. You make so many arguments for no reason. Scott, please stop telling me to shut up because I'm getting sick and tired of you telling me to shut up.
Oh, Mum, please, just leave me alone and be quiet.
Right, I suggest you go out and have a little walk and calm down. Yeah, because I'm not having you in my house disturbing
No, I'm
it.
sorry, Mum, you're the one that's disturbing it.
Anything that goes wrong in your life, you blame me for. Why?
So he's able to walk away and wait till he's calmed down and then go back to an argument, but have a much calmer discussion. So I just phoned Scott to see how things are going. And actually on the phone call, he was telling me a lot about kind of all the stresses that he's got to deal with. Despite all of that, today he's managed to kind of hold on to his anger and he hasn't shouted or sworn or slammed doors, and I think they are moving forward. That was a really positive phone call.
It's 10 days in and Scott has managed to land a part-time job.
You had a hard day at work? Part of Scott's anger might be that he's frustrated at the way his life is moving. So one way to manage his anger is for him to start feeling that he's accomplishing things.
Because I was in such a stress and I just walked out. But it's good though, because even though I was in a stress, I texted my mum there, I got a text that.
Oh, show me.
I texted her saying sorry for shouting and swearing, and then she's put this. I don't know if I still got it actually.
So you got angry and you had a shout and a swear, but then you walked out, which is good. And then you've apologised.
Sorry for shouting. This is from my mum to me. Sorry for shouting. Great start for changing. Love, Mum.
Oh, wow. What was it like to get that text?
Mum's never sent me anything like that before.
You must feel a little bit kind of, don't know, proud. You don't feel
a little
proud?
bit proud, yeah. But all my mates and that keep saying to me, I'm growing up a lot as well. And all that.
Excellent.
All my mates like, yeah, you're growing up, you're changing a lot and that.
Mother and son have had their first adult exchange. The next day, Rachel checks in with Laura for an anger update.
Oh, hi there, Laura. It's Rachel Andrew here.
Hiya.
Hiya, I was just ringing for a quick update about Scott, and just generally how things are going.
Yeah, not too bad.
Not too bad?
He's still doing these things, but when he is doing them, he is texting or phoning up straight away and apologising.
I mean, do you think you're listening to Scott more now?
I think I'm going back to how I used to be with him, but it got to the point that I just didn't listen to him at all because I thought, well, what's the point? Are you just going to go back on it?
That's the essential bit to keep this going. That as long as Scott feels listened to and respected, he'll carry on making something of himself. And I think that's kind of what you've got to focus on now to kind of push him even further forward.
Only 2 weeks since her first visit, Rachel is ready to wrap things up with Scott. So, have there been any lasting changes?
Lots of things, really. He's, even though he's having a few tantrums, they're very mild.
Right.
I can see him as a man, where before I just saw him as a boy.
Right.
And a badly behaved boy.
Have you made changes in the way you've been with him?
I've got to learn to let go, and he is growing into a man, and I've got to let go. I'm happier, the family's happier, so it's, you know, it's a good result, whatever.
It'll be a long road, but there's definitely a marked improvement. Slowly but surely, we might be getting there.
Yeah. Good evening.
Hello, people.
Scott hasn't only taken control of his anger, he's also taken control of his work life.
Dad said you'd got some good news.
I've got a full-time job.
Yeah.
Have you? Where? Yeah, that's really cool, but look how dirty your fingers are.
I don't care, that's yours. 110.
Before Rachel arrived, Scott couldn't get himself out of bed. Now he's making all kinds of good decisions. He's managed to get himself a full-time job, and his ambitions don't stop there.
Well, I've got a full-time job here, but I need to go to night school for electrician because I'm not staying on like 200 a week.
What does it mean that he's offered you a full-time job?
I work well.
Well, isn't that good? Aren't you proud of yourself?
Yeah.
It's amazed me at the number of changes you've made since I first met with you. Where are you going to be in a year's time?
All in all, I won't say a new person, but a lot of changes made, hopefully.
I think
See
so.
how it goes.
I think you've made a good start. It's been a pleasure.
And you.
And all the best for the future.
Okay then. See you later.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye.
It's cool.
Thank you very much for everything.
Oh no, my pleasure. You've done it all.
Between us, we've done it.
See you soon.
Bye.
See you, Scott.
Bye.
Us, lady.
Although Rachel has a low-key approach, it's been highly effective. As you can see, Scott has come a long way.
No, you get out.
I think one of the things that struck me the first time I met Scott was how much of a front he put on. And tonight I felt he just seems, you know, much more genuine. It was important with Scott and Mum tonight to focus on that this is very much in their hands, that these are choices that they've made and that they can continue to make.
Thank you very much for helping me and changing my life in a very big way. I hope I succeed in everything I do through what Dr. Rachel's done for me. That's about it.